Dear judges, colleagues, and students, welcome to our Justice Lawtech Student Virtual Showcase. It's a wonderful title, actually, Brian. And also congratulations to Brian for doing a wonderful job in the faculty. I think before you arrived, we basically had very little law tech or legal tech in the faculty, and in the past 2 years or so, we are developing vibrant law tech programs. So with, I think you have benefited over 100 of students. I think there are three purposes beyond this competition. One is access to justice, to nurture public interest of law spirit, and that is what we do, or what we are. Second, I think it will enhance the the competition capacity of students. And finally, I think the universe is changing. Law tech is something all of us would have to face, especially for junior lawyers, given the uncertain futures of legal practice. So, putting everything together, you've been doing a wonderful job. I want to congratulate the students for having gone that far, and I wish you all the best. And finally, I want to thank the judges for spending your evening with us. So thank you so much. Thank you.
So I'm Chloe, the CEO of LITE, and we are basically a search engine for personal injury, and we make knowledge accessible for all. So by using AI algorithm and also machine learning, we allow cases to be easily searched and filtered, and thus optimizing the legal research process. So as being mentioned by Brian, we initially started the project as an entry to the tech lawyer competition, which actually helps us to develop a legal tech solutions for the NGOs. And we actually realized there is a great amount of employment compensation claimants in Hong Kong, and a lot of them actually consults the major NGOs in Hong Kong as well. But there are actually only 2 legal search engines in Hong Kong that only provide keyword search, as opposed to key factor search, which is basically what we're developing. And given these problems, we have actually developed Easy Bang, which is our previous project. And joining Lawtech actually allows us to overcome the obstacles, such as building a trustful and collaborative relationship with a lot of the participating NGOs, and allowing us to design a UI or UX that best fits the product users. After the tech competition, we basically founded a startup that is actually independent from the Hong Kong LITE Lab, which is called LITE. We have received immense support and recognition from the industry, including HSBC Innotech, Hong Kong Science Park STEP program, as well as HKAI Lab. And lately, I've also won a competition by American Chambers.
I think when we weren't quite sure what to expect from this project, it came upon us quite quickly. And obviously with the COVID restrictions, we were all online, so we didn't get a chance to meet in person. I hope to do that at some point in the future. But it was a fantastic experience, I have to say. We first met the students, and I think coming from an NGO, I think it's really important that we get to connect with that young talent and the ideas and the innovations, the innovative ideas that they have, they're studying. So for me personally, I work in the tech space, but to hear the ideas and to hear their thoughts about how this could work was, we were blown away. And I think, also as an NGO, listening to the questions that we receive from the team as they're asking us, about how we manage cases, how we, lots and lots of questions. It really helped us to fine-tune our messaging as well, and how we sort of articulate ourselves outside of equal justice. It's very easy when you're embedded in an organization, you think you know exactly what you're doing, and then suddenly someone from the outside is questioning you. It was really useful for us in that respect as well. At all times, I think we had very, very sensible questions, very mature, and a great team working with us. And I think more than just the experience of the project, they actually opened our eyes to a tool in Checkbox, and we've actually done a lot more work with that specific tool, and we're hoping to use it for other projects internally, subject to funding, but we have another prototype built I think the biggest piece we got, or the biggest challenge you have with an NGO is it's, many there's a huge desire to embrace technology in the NGO space. We know you can get more done with less if you're utilizing technology. But the problem is you don't have the resources to maintain code. NGOs typically don't have a developer on staff. So, if a year later something needed to be changed, hiring a developer is extremely expensive for an NGO. So by introducing this tool that does not require coding, it opened our eyes to what could be out there and something that we could use and build without using code, and something that can be maintained 10 years into the future relatively easy, as long as you've got a logical mind. So it was hugely valuable for us. And
I just want to describe this collaboration as an amazing one, and then as one that really actually energizing, refreshing our own personal passion for the work we do day in and day out, because students, they are clearly trying to understand what we're trying to do here at Justice Center, and they really help us throughout the entire process. I myself also was leading a project with Yale Law School students a few months back, a research project, and then I was also part of the project team for one of the other apps that we have with our government partner, FreshU. So I would say that the HKU team students, the art team students' performance, professionalism would have nothing, would be definitely comparable to Yale Law School students, to the professional team at FreshU, in understanding our needs and adopting really to what we actually need in terms of our operational needs, and then really very receptive to our suggestions. So as Brian would have known, that the tool and when it was first presented to us, it was slightly different in a sense, but then the student team was very receptive of our opinions, and then they really wanted to help us deliver our services despite us being an underfunded NGO. So I'm really grateful for the great work that the team has put in over these few months of time.
Very grateful that our organization can work with the students, the team property. Actually, I think for our work, of course, we need to deal with, serve a lot of underprivileged class people who living in the subdivided flats now in Hong Kong. That's a big problem. There's not just there's a housing problem, but I think also the life of many poor people in Hong Kong. So how to deal with about the improve the environment when they have the problem. Nowadays, of course, we try to outreach a lot of this kind of residents and try to sometimes teach them how to raise the issues with their landlords and also the relevant government departments. Many of our colleagues are social workers. They also know little about the regulation, the legal provisions, this kind. It is great to learn that this team to use some technology, a computer, and also with this app, it would be easy to let the individual tenants to use it just using a smartphone. Of course, still a few poor people now haven't have smartphone, but I think it's going to be more and more useful. So with the tenants just can use smartphone and then to make a photo and then can easily identify the relevant legal provision and also which department they can making the campaign or even anonymous. That would be I think great idea. And with the expansion of this kind of usage to different area and sort of things, I would think that would be great help to the tenants and also of course, that would enhance their rights greatly. Of course, we hope to see more of this development in the future.
Hello, Hong Kong University LITE Lab students and Professor Tang. And the work that you guys are doing makes us so incredibly proud. You're showcasing these projects that you've put so much time, energy, and passion into, and you've built a deep understanding of the problems that you're solving, and you're engaging in the real world with nonprofits and social entrepreneurs and companies. You are truly embodying what LITE Lab stands for, the combination of law, innovation, technology, and entrepreneurship. That is exactly why the students last year were so successful with their huge wins, and I can't wait to see all of you and your projects launch onto the global stage. So not only do I want to congratulate you all, but I also want to thank you, because the projects that you're showcasing here today don't end here. They will continue to live on and help so many people, and I hope you'll all continue to maintain and support them even after all of the award ceremonies and sessions are over.
Actually, as a law student starting your own technology business, you can grow it to become a global business, one that is well known and sort of well respected. I say this because, if you look at what Chloe has done with LITEX as well, coming out of an accelerated hackathon like the IronTech competition and the competition here today, don't see these as just being another university project, because they can be so much more than that. As Donna mentioned, the best thing you can do is take the ideas that you've created here and ensure that they live on, ensure that they actually become sustainable businesses that make an impact to the world, because ultimately that's what this technology is built for, right? Joseph, Documate, Checkbox, we're built to actually make a difference in the way that we deliver legal services, make it accessible to people who need it. And you should all be very, very proud, very proud of everything you've built, no matter what platform you chose or what coding language you've just developed it on, because at the end of the day, it's actually everything else outside of the technology that is the hard part. So.
Also, congratulations, Brian, for somehow pulling together me, Evan, and Donna, and all of our platforms for your students. That's quite an achievement in and of itself. For me, watching this presentation, the thing that struck me is just how immensely fortunate all of these students are to be in a position where they're experiencing these technologies and having these opportunities and exposing themselves to a new way of thinking. One of the things I wish I'd had when I was at law school, I went out to be a corporate litigator for a few years and it did not work out for me. One of the things I wish I'd had at law school was some insight into what was possible, what the future of legal work might look like for me. And that's exactly what all of the students here today have done. They've given themselves that opportunity. They've given themselves a bit of a glimpse of what the future of legal work looks like. And now it's just over to all of you to grasp that opportunity with both hands, to pursue it if it's the thing that you're passionate about.
Hi everyone, I'm a tech lawyer, computer science, AI training, and also working as a lawyer, as Brian mentioned. Blown away from the great work we've all done together. Really amazing. Give yourself a pat on the back, and congratulations to all of you. Good teamwork, many sleepless nights, and instant noodles, I'm told. But wonderful job. So,
all done an amazing job. The crucial thing is that all of the people that you're trying to help are vulnerable in various ways, and they also are involving NGOs that are doing fantastic work with very little resources. So the goals of this project are fantastic and very close to my heart as a human rights lawyer myself, working on some of these issues.
And thank you, Brian, for organizing the competition and really, just having your innovative idea of having LITE Lab to begin with. And the focus today has been on innovation and really something close to my heart, which is solving a social problem. Heard that NGOs generally, the world over, and obviously in Hong Kong as well, are under-resourced. The areas which NGOs now, particularly in light of COVID, have woken up to the fact that they absolutely need is tech, and tech support and tech knowledge. And 90% of the NGOs, particularly the small, medium-sized NGOs that ACS works with, who don't get regular funding from the government, are lacking in tech and the support and the knowledge, and really ideas and brains like what's in the room here. So the fact that you all have put together solutions to real problems, working together with NGOs who are serving real beneficiaries, is absolute testament to what you're capable of and what you can achieve in your lifetime, and absolutely applaud you for that. The other thing that I would highlight to you that NGOs do not know is their legal rights generally and where they stand. Many NGOs don't know what they don't know. And this is really where you all come in. This is where those of us who have legal training and been in private practice and so forth, this is where we can add value. Because ultimately, I think, and again, this is the one big takeaway from the past 12 to 18 months that we've all gone through. The big takeaway is ultimately any society is only as good as how good it is as a civil society, as a kind civil society, which means looking after the lowest rung in our community, the fellow Hong Kongers who are really suffering, the vulnerable and so forth.